Hey everyone, welcome back. Look, Mum's with me.
Hello everyone.
She's had her hair all done today, everyone. Look.
Not especially for this, I hasten to add.
So yeah, we're doing a little Q&A with Mum. We got a few questions. We got loads. She's got a few, which some of you have asked about different things on the journey, just how we are in general. But yeah, and I think we'll just say what the question was, have a little discussion, and hopefully reveal an answer out of that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So the first question that actually got asked, I think it's a good one. I think it's one that a lot of people would probably have, and that is, I'm curious as to how this has brought you together potentially. Has it brought us closer together?
I think it has, bearing in mind that when you were diagnosed you'd been living away for the best part of 2 years, give or take some home time for the pandemic, for lockdown. We've just been together now throughout all of this, so whether it was your first scan, whether it was your trip to Birmingham for your biopsy and diagnosis, all your treatment in London, all your hospital visits, everything. There's not many that I've not taken you to.
I don't think there's been any.
I mean, one physio I think I missed. Kelly took you and Dad took you. So yeah. most of it I've been there, haven't I?
Yeah.
And the fact that we've been we were staying in London together, we were staying in Birmingham together. I think it has. I think
it's definitely brought us
close
in the physical and the emotional aspect of it, because
I would agree.
Growing up, I was always very independent, and
you've always been independent, and that's
never
fine.
needed to rely on.
And also that's fine. As a parent, you like to see your kids growing up and being independent and off doing their own thing. That's great. But this is almost forced us together. Yeah. So I think the answer is definitely yes.
Yeah.
I don't see how we can answer that any differently, to be fair.
So yes, it's brought us closer together. Another question we had through was, what can friends and people we know do to help the family? Like, is it okay to ask how you all are and not appear to be nosy?
I think all our friends and family have been great, to be honest. And I think that this medium that you've set up has been really good for. I wasn't sure about it in the first instance. I'll be totally honest. But I think that's been really good to keep people updated and inform people of what's going on. So the people that I know follow you and do, because I get messages that says, seen Katie's latest blog or whatever. So I think, all of our friends and family have been great, and especially in the beginning, we had lots of messages saying, like anything we can do. And I get it that everybody just feels people want to do something, but they feel helpless. But we knew that we could call on people, or that, and some of the support you've had when we've been doing fundraising for charity and things like that, because we've had such a lot of support from these charities. It's been nice to be able to put something back.
Yeah.
And so friends and families even helping us do that and supporting that, to me is a great help and a great support. But sometimes, and I never mind people asking, and I don't know whether you do, Katie, or not.
I think how we did it in the first instance because we knew for about a month before I put anything out public that it was something was really wrong, and then I think the way we filtered it through the family first, because we got family all over the world. It was important that the right information got told the right way and in the right order. So I think controlling the information as it was released helped with that.
Yeah. And also
I think that made it a lot easier on us. And we understood everything. Yeah. And we had all the answers that we needed because we wanted to be ready for all the questions we were going to have. Because people have questions.
But also I found as well, people in the early days particularly, people were very good in that it was enough to say, there's something wrong with her spine, or she's got a tumour on her spine, and they wouldn't, and if I didn't feel strong enough to go any further, people seem to understand that, and so no, I think all friends and family have been great.
And I've never once felt anyone's prying for more information.
No, definitely not. It's and people.
I mean, I don't know. That's because I've made everything so very public. I mean, there are things that aren't public, which are very private.
I think that's helped.
And that, but I think because I have got a kind of strict what I do share, what I don't share, stops kind of any overstepping fears.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to just go out with friends, go camping for the weekend, or go out with friends for a drink, and just. Sorry, but not talk about you. Yeah, in the nicest possible. And just be normal.
Yeah, totally.
And that's great as well.
Yeah.
And I know that if I want to talk about it, I can.
But if you don't,
that's fine as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers the question.
I think so. I don't.
So what can
basically you never appear nosy.
No. And what can family and what can friends do to help? Just be there.
Be there. I think.
Yeah, just be there.
So we got one about the driving.
Oh yes.
Which was, how has learning how to drive hand controls been?
Well, that's your question.
That's my question,
because
really.
I haven't done any driving, but I will be a passenger.
You will be a passenger very, 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 very soon, and I'm trying not to give too much away. But yeah, very, very soon there will be more shared information on that. But yeah, it's been an experience. It's very, very different going from a manual to then an automatic with hand controls. The automatic being the biggest jump and not changing gears. But I'm very glad I've had lessons because I feel a lot more confident going into it having had them. And I feel more confident that I know what I'm doing
because I've seen you driving the car with hand controls.
The massive car. It's a massive car.
It's not that big. To be fair, it's not. That's 4 9 10. I know it's not that big.
Big,
but I didn't look deliberately today.
When I was parked here and the learner car came back and had to reverse into a fairly narrow space next to me.
She did reverse park extremely well. I was very impressed.
So, yeah.
But linking that to the first question though about how it's brought us closer. I'm hoping that I'm still going to be able to be taking you places and you're not going to be back to Miss Independent saying, I don't need you to come to the hospital with me today, Mum, because I can drive myself. So just bear that in mind. Bear that in mind.
She still wants to come to hospitals. But I still think I would have you with me at hospital appointments.
Yeah, depends
especially
what it is.
With not so much physio and counselling and when I have Reiki and stuff, but I think in terms of when it's medical consultations and scans, I will probably want you there because it's been very beneficial having 2 sets of ears to hear all the medical information because I remember even in the early days,
we remember different things.
So 2 sets of ears is definitely a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right?
And also all your team know me now that if I didn't turn up there, they might think I've abandoned you or something.
I'm hoping that's answered the learning to drive question without giving too much away.
Well, you'll have an update.
You'll have an update
at some point.
Yes. And then actually this is one from very close friends of ours, and that is just kind of asking, how are you? I mean, Dad's not here, he's away working, so you can't answer for Dad.
So he's normal. He's carrying on as normal.
Yeah. But how are you? How has kind of everything been? I think emotionally for you. It's your youngest child.
And my only little girl.
Your only little baby girl.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. It's horrible. And I keep everything. I've got a certain strength and resilience, the same as you have. We clearly are quite alike, to be fair. Probably more alike than what we both realised.
I care to admit.
So it is there, and it does bubble all of the time, and it could quite easily come out. But life is going on, and you're proving that life goes on, and you are being extremely strong, and you're out there with it. So I feel that I have no right to be any different, if you know what I mean. It is horrible, and some days I feel sad, some days I feel angry, some days I feel upset, some days I feel really strong, but that's just how it is. But I think you're here and we're going through this journey. It's okay. So yesterday I had my first Reiki
You did. Mum had Reiki. I convinced her to do it.
At the mustard tree in Derriford, which was really nice. So I'm going to have I think I can have 6 sessions of that. And it was really nice. And it gave me sort of just a bit of chill out time and a bit of time to myself. Which was really nice. So
I'm very proud of you.
If there is a little, if there's a little benefit of having to spend so much time over there, then maybe it's that.
I've got a question, because I don't actually, we talk, but we don't talk, I think, like this. And I think my question is probably, if I had to ask you anything, is what's been the hardest bit of everything? If you think the last 12 months, from your standpoint, what's been kind of, because I could easily turn around and say, I imagine it's been really hard for Mum when I've had really rough days when I was on treatment, or side effects were
I don't know,
after the operation I just couldn't move, and
yeah, that was pretty horrendous. But I think what I find is when things are really bad, so post-operation, when I was trying to get you back from London, except the side effects of the treatment, all of that, you somehow get this inner strength. So I didn't feel I don't recall at those points being particularly low points, if you know what I mean. I think they were more like, right, we've got to get on with this, I think for me, the low points are probably when I see you just going about your business, knowing that you should be, doing your job and doing that's the bit for me, I think, more when it's
not everything's turned up to 11, when everything's kind of at a gentle 7.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think when there's stuff going on, I think that does, even though it's all hard stuff, but I'm there, and it was all a big shock in the beginning, but I'm there now. I'm but I think it's when we're just trying to be living as normal, and I know that you're very limited and restricted with what you can do, and that's not how it should be.
Yeah,
that's the bit. That's the bit that's the hardest at the moment for me.
Have there been any points where there's been a sense of relief about anything? Because on reflection of the whole 12 months, and I go, as horrible and awful as the diagnosis and everything was, there's that tiny little bit of me which is but at least I'm not in the amount of pain I was this time last year.
I suppose we did have a bit of relief in once they knew what they were dealing with and they got you on your meds. And you weren't, that pain went. I mean, not for me, because I didn't know what the pain was like. But I guess that was a bit of relief.
But then I suppose you were there when I was up every 2 hours pacing in pain.
Exactly. And then I think the next bit was the diagnosis. When we went to Birmingham and had the diagnosis, that was really bad. Then you go like this, and then you get the steady state again because you're living with it, and then elation when we knew you were getting the proton beam and they were moving really quickly with that. Yeah. So it is like
it's an up
this,
and down journey rather than a kind of.
It is up and down, but and I know you get fed up with me asking you all the time how you are, because she does. And I try not to, but it's only because in my mind I want to know whether the pain is better today than it was yesterday, or whether it's worse today than it was yesterday. That's all, and does that make sense? Did I answer the question?
Yeah. Basically, there have been relief points, and
I think there has been. Yeah.
No, it's not a gradual incline or decline. It's more of an up and down.
Yeah, you get the up and down. Yeah, you get the up and downs. Yeah, definitely. That's the way forward. And I think also, from my perspective, is trying not to look too far ahead as well. I think just dealing with,
which is quite hard for us because we're forward planners.
Yeah, no, exactly. But just it's all right to look 6 months ahead, isn't it? Whatever. But try not, It's not good. It's not the way, is it? But we've readjusted the dials now, haven't we? Because whereas before it was you were thinking about when I can get back to work. Now actually it's
what's the alternative?
I probably won't be able to go back to work or do what I was doing before. You know, so. But and that's why I think it's best to just not look too. You just got to,
focus on now
and deal with that. You can plan a little bit. That's the way to
plan a spa weekend in Cornwall.
Yeah. Plan a holiday, all of that.
Holiday.
Yeah, because we didn't have any of that last year, so we need to do those. We need to do a bit more of those sorts of things this year, I think.
Do you have any questions for me? Because I've realised I've fired several at you.
Yeah. I guess it's that, am I doing everything that you need me to do, or is there anything that I should be doing, or you don't want me to do? I guess.
Don't think so. I think.
Oh, I know you tell me.
There's not much more I could probably ask someone to kind of do. And I know I don't say it enough, I'm very, very, very fortunate to have you and Dad, like, being able to just kind of drop everything and up to where you're needed all the time.
I'm sure any parents would do that, Katie.
I know. But, some people aren't in a position we are. I know we laugh and joke looking back, like, if you hadn't retired, what would you have done? What would we have done for the 6 weeks I needed to be in London? Or, it's kind of those things which I look back and I go, I need to really be grateful, like, how fortunate I am. Fortunate situation, but fortunate that I've been able to
I think we can
have the journey I've had, because it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
And there are people that haven't got the support network I do.
We would have done it, but it potentially would have been more stressful.
Yeah.
And would have taken a bit more jigging around and everything.
Smooth sailing as it probably has been. Yeah. I just can't believe it's a year.
No, I know. But you're when I look back to then, you're so much better in yourself now than what you were then, aren't you? Mm-hmm. So much, we have got the old Katie back, definitely.
You haven't got the bones that was me last February.
No.
Because I was.
And also the clearly you're on top of the pain as well, because you wouldn't be going about life as you are if you were still in the pain like you were in last year.
Well, thank you, Mum.
That's all right.
It's been very fun. Very exciting. Have you actually? It looks like you've actually enjoyed yourself.
I hope we get lots of likes.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below.